No blood moon, but blood for Boy Green. It is on, baby. Survivor 50, Episode 6, recap show. And it starts right now. All right, let's break it down, Boy Green. A lot to get into on this episode. Let's start.
Whoa, hey, my pizza guy. What's going on?
Will woke up with a crab right in his chest. It was so funny. We caught it and ate it.
I'll give a flying hoops a minute. Give your hand.
And welcome aboard, everybody. I'm sorry, it was episode 7, not episode 6. Sorry.
You were just so fired up. Yeah.
One for the good guys tonight. I think so. I think one for the good guys. Not that there's anything wrong with D, but we had to get that other $1 million winner out of there to make this thing a game and put this thing on. And I'm glad that happened tonight. And I think Bret LaBelle, our third host here, Survivor Extraordinaire himself, is going to agree. Let's bring him in. Bret, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
So are you pleased with who got eliminated tonight?
I mean, I am, and nothing against D, but she
Absolutely.
won the game. She's already won the game. It's like you can't. Well, it's season 50. You shouldn't even have a winner out there. You know what I mean? So I think all these people, a lot of them have played many times and have never won. They weren't going to keep a winner out there.
Well, it goes to show you because, by all accounts, right, we sort of do these sort of temperature checks at the end of each episode, looking ahead. Ooh, which one of us is sort of in danger with our people? And I don't think a lot of us were thinking D, and it shows you how quickly it can change. That telling Emily, of all people, what a central figure of this friggin' season, for God's sakes. Everyone giving her information that she immediately blathers to other people, including Rizzo, and Rizzo returns to D. And as soon as D responded that way, Rizzo's like, okay, full of beep. I know where this is going. So it shows you how quickly it can change, Bret. What D even said it in her confessional. I hope that mistake doesn't cost me $1 million. Spoiler alert, it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it definitely did. And, the problem is you got a lot of people out there. You have to be extremely careful with everything that you say to each person. You don't know what everyone's thinking. You don't know where people think their game lies. And that's a lot of people to try to, they said it earlier, like to try and keep track of where the vote is and everything. So anyone could have gone home tonight. But the reason she got so many votes is you have a lot of people out there that have really wanted to be the sole survivor and haven't had it, haven't done it. And they've had several chances to do it. They weren't going to let a winner stick around. They just weren't.
Yeah, I think so as well. But I'm glad it happened sooner rather than later, Bret, so that we can get on with the game. And as Jeff Probst said at Tribal, that was the most people ever at a single Tribal. So that's kind of interesting with so many votes at play and so difficult to sway them. I mean, let's talk about, the elephant in the room, which was Coach rounding up the troops here. First, he starts the episode by saying, I'm waging war. We saw that in the coming attractions. We weren't quite sure what it's all about. We got to find a little bit about what that was all about tonight. And then Coach is going kind of haiku crazy. What the heck is going on with Coach? Looks like he's got off the deep end, and they're going to have to call in the loony bin to wheel him off at some point in this series. Bret, give me your thoughts on Coach.
Well, we did. That's why we watch Coach. We love crazy Coach. He needed to reel it in a little bit tonight.
This was angry Coach tonight. That's
yeah.
the problem.
That's the problem when you think that you have the numbers. People get a little cocky, but you think Coach would be smart enough not to get too cocky, because you just never know that can also hurt you and it can bite you. And it's funny how I actually thought it was going to come back and bite.
But it might flip. I know, or that he was going to get more than one vote. That's for sure. I was actually surprised he only got one. The producers, I said to Boy Green, I texted him, I said, producers have done a great job tonight. They had me convinced that Coach at least was at play perhaps tonight.
Yes. Yeah. That's what they were trying to do.
Well, Bret, so they did this great editing, right, where Coach appears to be on the hammock and he's just sort of talking to himself. And then they're cutting back to Jonathan and Emily, like, what the hell is going on over there? He's talking to himself. But obviously there's a camera person there. Now, normally, from everything we understand, the conversation between camera people and the Survivor contestants is mostly done at confessional. So what did Dragon Slayer just go like on his own rant and a camera person is just there listening? Is there any conversation between camera person and Dragon Slayer? So he's not really talking to himself, but it just appears that way. Like, what's happening there? Because that's what the edit suggested. Like, Coach was a few tacos short of a combo meal, and he's just losing it out on the island.
Yeah, no, I mean, there definitely was talking to a cameraman, and that's what I thought when I watched it. That's why I thought it was kind of silly. It's like, of course, he's talking to the cameraman. He's not talking to himself. And the cameramen do talk back. They're not supposed to. They do not. But we're out there every day with them. You get to know them. You know their names. It's, you laugh. They have, some of them have great sense of humor. I know I got them all laughing when I was messing with Chris a couple times, and also when Ken, I literally had this scene. I think I told you guys I had this great scene, which never aired, but Ken's going on and on about how he wanted to be a reward challenge. And I literally could not stop laughing, and he couldn't see me laughing, but the camera guys were dying laughing. And so you get a rapport with these guys, and a lot of them have good senses of humor. So I know he was talking to them. Coach has been out there a bunch of times. It's all the same cameramen. I had a lot of the same cameramen on Amazing Race also from that I do from Survivor. So you do get to know these people. I really truly believe that he was having a serious conversation with whatever cameraman was out there, because he probably knows them from the few seasons he's been on.
Is this the worst excuse you've ever heard? So Aubry tells everybody, "Hey, I'm playing my idol, so suckers better be ready for this." And then she doesn't. And then when she gets back to camp, people are like, "Whoa, why didn't you play your idol?" She went, "Oh, I forgot." And then that sounds like the dumbest excuse of all time. Like, what do you mean you forgot? Your life's on the line, and it's for $1 million, and you forgot to play it. And then it apparently was so bad of an excuse that she had no other choice but to light the idol on fire in front of everyone, that she was clearly not getting any votes in, just to throw it back in the water. Like, what did you make of the Aubry sloppy gameplay? Because, I don't know, if I was her, I would just keep the idol. Like, why am I just going to toss it? Am I really going to go under the radar again? I think the threat level is the threat level. So I probably would have just held on to it. But what did you make of all that, Brett?
I mean, she did take a lot of crap. She probably should have just held on to it. She probably should have just used it the first time. But, I mean, it was definitely a lazy excuse saying that she forgot. She didn't really stop and think. But, I think that she explained it pretty well, with being that it's a scarlet letter. Like, it's probably good to just burn it. She can go look for another one. And then, now she's an equal with everyone else. You're out there with 14 people. They were going to come after it. And she probably figured it's just better to get rid of it. If I can find another one, at least I'll keep it quiet. This is why you need to keep these things quiet,
Yeah. Brett, what is it about this season about blabbermouths? Just keep writing it down. Blabbermouth, blabbermouth, blabbermouth. I mean, you talked about Emily. Emily just runs in every direction and, like a chicken without a head, tells anyone and everyone that'll listen to her. And we even saw Sari tonight blab on Stephanie. I didn't think that was cool at all from Sari. So what's up? Why is this Survivor 50 cast so loosey-goosey with information, particularly when it comes to idols?
Well, it's always hard to keep information quiet, and especially when you have 14 people out there and everyone's working different. I don't know really I know that she's Stephanie and her get along, but what are their real relationship? And obviously she, Sari is more, feels more kin to Rizzo, which is interesting. But yeah, I don't know. The funny thing is, Sari is not the type of person. She keeps a lot of that information in and doesn't let it out. I think this might be a mistake, and it could bite her going forward. I don't think Stephanie's going to like that she told him, because I think she truly did trust Sari with that information.
Yeah, here's this. I want to throw this up from Gator. He actually is responsible for this beautiful beach scene and everything we've created. He's a big Survivor fan.
Graphic man extraordinaire, Gator, in the crowd today.
So it's great to see him.
Well,
here
Gator,
on the show.
This is just awesome. These effects are just awesome. I like them.
Yeah, so shout out to Gator. So his comment is this: at the beginning of the season, I thought a lot of the choices for 50 contestants could have been better. It's actually a lot worse than I thought. And Sari continues to amaze me. She could win it all. Your reaction is what, boys?
Ooh. I say Sari could win it all. Look at how cool she's playing it. She deserves to win it all. Like, she always gets far. She never, that early on we thought she was going home, and I was like, don't bet your cards on that one, because Sari never goes home early. She always hangs in there. People love her. She's got an amazing social game. She always seems to slide through. And I would love this. Season 50 to me would make up for a lot of the bad things I've been complaining about if Cirie took the win on it.
And I think one of her gifts, Brett, is she reads people really well. Look, I mean, I hated that she gave up, Stephanie's information, but she read Stephanie like a book, and then just put her to the wall. It's like, all right, I did win an advantage, and she gives her the whole story. Like Stephanie should have lied. Should have said something else. If she knew she was red-handed, she shouldn't have told her it was the steal of vote. She should have told her something else.
Right, lie about the advantage, right?
Give her another advantage. Stop beware advantage or something. I don't know. Come up with something. Come on, man. Be creative. Don't give Cirie that information, but Cirie pulls it out of people. She's got that great social game, as you mentioned.
Which, by the way, who has Cirie again in the Survivor Fantasy Draft? Oh, yes. Boy Green does. Interesting. Although, there it is.
Listen, you drew blood tonight, though.
Terrible. As you guys can see, for those who are just joining us here on our YouTube show, this graphic represents all of our fantasy teams. Manchild, he has 2 people left. That's Christian and Joe. Bret LaBelle, our former Survivor castaway from season 33, Millennials versus Gen X. He has Ozzy and Rizzo, and I have 3, but I had not drawn blood until tonight. Dee Valadares, she is officially out. So I've got Dragon Slayer, Rick Devens, and Cirie, who is left in this game. But yes, I've drawn blood. And really, I'm glad that this happened because I want you guys to feel like you're in this. I want to show you that I'm human. Things happen.
Yeah,
I'm not just perfect as I have displayed that I am through the first 6 episodes. So I'm human just like the rest of you.
Hey, Derek.
Blah, blah. Okay.
Yeah, Derek the cop. Noticing it.
Look at Boy Green. That's an act. Thank you, Derek. Way to be there. Way to be monitoring that stuff, Derek.
Yeah.
Derek has the attention to detail on that one.
Yeah, X marks the spot there. X marks the spot there. I want to give some credit, and I think we did a little bit earlier because there was sort of this theme of like people's 2.0s. Hey, they did this in one season, and then their next opportunity they did this. Jonathan, man, if we're to take him at his word, again, it's the edit, so take it for what you will. But Jonathan puts Dee on blast in front of everybody, in front of Tidewalker, Dragon Slayer, Coach. He puts her on blast saying, really, are you telling the truth? And then she's forced to, sort of speak up for herself. She talks about her Cuban insides were on fire, so she got all fiery. And then Jonathan's confessional says, ha, I got exactly what I wanted. I baited her, which most people wouldn't give Jonathan credit for. They think he's just a big meathead. So, is there an evolution here? Is he just lying after the fact and saying that he did it on purpose? Maybe he really didn't. And again, you can tell whatever story you want in the edit, Brett, which we talked about on a previous season. Just take credit for everything, and then you look good at the end.
Yeah, and there might be some of that, but I believe he did. I mean, he was needling her pretty good. He was trying to get a rise out of her. I think he was successful in that, and I think maybe that's why she went home. He definitely. It seems like he was trying to get. People probably look at people's when you get excited and you get like that. Like people don't like that out there. Don't forget, this is a social game. People are out there. They're trying to just and so when things get hot, people don't like it. So I think it was a pretty good move on his part, and it seemed to have worked.
And I like he's playing a different game this time around. And I think when you come back for a season like this, Brett, you don't want to be so predictable. And I think he's being a little more unpredictable. So I like the game that Jonathan is playing. At least he's playing with fire, and he's playing, in a different way than he played the first time around, where a lot of people did just look at him as a meathead, a great challenge beast, but he doesn't know anything about strategy. He is getting in alliances. He is at this point staying loyal to those alliances. There have been some situations where he's played the middle ground, as we saw last week in Tribal when he took out a rival and they didn't know it was coming, and then they were like, hey, it was all day he was telling me. Well, that's what you do, right? You convince people all day you're going one way so that you can go the other way. You don't let them doubt so they don't sniff it out. So good job by Jonathan not letting them sniff it out and being able to eliminate the person that he felt was the right person to eliminate last week. So I like Jonathan's game, and he's one, by the way, of the 6 that we don't have. So we have 6 on our board. Now, every season other than last year, we have picked the winner, one of the 3 of us. Right. This year, we'll see how it goes, but every other season we've done this, we've done a lot of seasons together, we've picked the winner. Last year was the first time we didn't. Right now, we have 6 on the board, Christian, Joe, Ozzy.
Wait, Lurch, we have 7.
7, I'm sorry. We have 7 on the board, and there are 6 that we don't have. So,
so 13 total,
field, so to speak. So it's 7-6 us right now. But there are some viable players in that 6, some that I don't think are, but there are some viable players in that 6 that, could come back to bite us. I hope they don't.
Yeah, we'll see.
I still
I'll
say
have
we
to
have
make
the
sure.
winner, but
Me too.
Jonathan could be the caveat because he's chugging along pretty well here.
He also, this was a preseason thing for Survivor fans that pay attention to that sort of thing, that Boston Rob apparently took him under his wing and tried to, sort of teach him and mentor him and try to, that he's this big Brutus beefcake, but give him more to his game that perhaps he can learn, in terms of the social, which he's talked about, and other aspects of Survivor. Apparently, Boston Rob has taken him under his wing. We'll see if that ends up meaning anything for him. I'll throw this one out there just because I don't know how many of us are a fan of her, but Tiff came back super pissed. I'm going back to the beginning of the episode. She came back super pissed at everybody. And when everyone came to her and said, "Hey, Tiff, do you want to talk?" including Jonathan, she said, I just need to sort of sort through my feelings first. They're like, "Oh, what a very eloquent, professional response." And then she goes to her confessional and she says, she says they should have voted me out because I'm going to dance on all of their Survivor graves. And she was just like screaming into the night and going crazy. So I love all that. So again, Tiff, she shoots from the hip, which I'm sure Survivor appreciates. But the rest of it, I'm sort of give or take. I hope she's soon going to be eliminated because I don't think she's been that entertaining outside of these moments where she's just sort of letting people have it. Besides that, though, it hasn't been that entertaining. So whenever Tiffany's torch is snuffed, I'm not going to cry many tears.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think she was that interesting on her own season. But, I mean, I thought that was funny. It's like, oh, yeah, God forbid someone has the numbers and votes out one of your alliance members. Like, it hasn't happened to every one of us that has played the game before. I just find it very funny that people get that mad. Like, I can't the fact that she said, "I'm so mad. I respect it." She said, "I'll be fine tomorrow, but I need some time alone." I do respect that, but at the same respect, it's like you don't like. Look at one of my best allies, Chris Hammons, got voted out. I didn't go back and flip out and cry. I started working on solidifying stuff. You're definitely gonna, and you learn this, I guess, but you're turning people off when you do that. People do not like that. They're not gonna really put up with it. And now they're all talking about you while she's off by herself sulking. Everyone's talking about it, saying, "Okay, when can we vote this crybaby off the show?" But look I don't know. Tiff could pull this together and figure it out because she is a smart girl. So.
Is it just as simple, Bret, as saying, like we hear a lot of survivors say over and over again, it's just a game? Is it that simple? When your emotions are involved, when your, blood, sweat, tear, relationships, all the things that you build out there on those days that you're on the island, the hunger pangs, the bug bites, you name it, the sunburn, all right? Is it, can you flip that switch and remind yourself it's just a game? I know they got my guy, Chris Hammons, just a game. I got to keep playing.
Yeah, you have to remind yourself because you can get caught up in it and get frustrated and I think Chris and I did. When there was one vote, we did get frustrated with, we were kind of blindsided and Chris kind of flipped out and I was pissed too. But, we learned from that. That was early on in the game. We're like, all right, that's not the way to handle it because it does turn people off from you. Mm-hmm. And it could mean it makes you an easy vote going forward because everyone, again, people go, well, look at, we're going to listen to this shit every time we vote somebody out. So they're going to, it definitely puts a target on your back. I think Tiff put a target on her back with that. I really do. I think she can fix it. Whether she has the finesse and the chops to do that, we'll find out. She tends to go behind the scenes and talk to people that she wants to work with. From what I remember from her first season to now, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, she's very picky on who she's going to work with. And she's very, she tells you, I'm not going to work with that person, but I like this person. And she kind of goes to them and has one-on-ones with them, which is interesting, but it's really not the way to play this game. This game, you need to have relationships with everybody,
Let me jump on over to the comments. We're getting some good ones tonight, so let me pop them in. Thanks to anybody who comes in. Feel free, comment, ask Bret questions, ask us questions, bring up things you saw in the episode. It's all fair game here in the recap show. What is it? Summy Gamer says they hinted at two sides forming tonight, and they did, Bret. Do you think that's where it's headed? And how do you see those two sides? I mean, of course, I know we've got Joe and we've got Coach. I don't know where Rizzo is. We'll get into him in a little bit. That's a very complex situation. But there is Jonathan, there is this kind of small batch of loyalists still there. Kobe's no longer part of it, unfortunately, and they're trying to make Rizzo, unfortunately, the fourth horseman. That's not going to work, as we saw tonight. But give me your thoughts. Do you see two sides forming here, or is it still going to be like an amoeba and it's just going to be sliding all over the place for a couple more tribals? Give me your sense.
We have, what do we have? 13 people left now.
Yeah,
I think there's a very good chance we could slide into something like that. This is with that many people we could come down to a 50-50 and people are going, there could be one person in the middle going, and we could find that's in,
could have a 7-6 vote maybe next
year. And all of a sudden this is a person in the middle. This one person can choose which way the tribe's going to go. So I do think that could be coming. I think there's enough people for it to happen. And it's going to be interesting. Again, it's very hard to keep that amount of people together on a vote. It really is.
To me, I think this is a there was a common enemy that emerged for Sami Gamer here, and that was Dee Valadares, and how she said she's a former winner. Yeah. She caused some beef at camp that Jonathan was bringing up. Hey, do you guys all want to get together and just, let's club her with a rock and then we'll figure it out later? So I think it was sort of temporary, these sides, and it all sort of worked out for everybody. And that's what they ended up deciding to do, Sami. So I'm not sure if these are long lasting for the rest of the game, two-side sort of thing. I think there's far too many people for that sort of thing. But I think, again, if anyone makes a mistake, it's easy. It's the Sancho strategy. It's not me. And D, yeah, works for me. And then you sort of go through that process. But the curious thing coming off of that is Dragon Slayer seemed to rub a lot of people the wrong way, Bret, because he said, all right, here's how I want it to be done. I want it to be a 7-4 split. I want 7 of us here, 4 of us here. Let's go. Is being a little bossy, and it seemed to rub people the wrong way. Ultimately, they bent the knee to the Iron Lord here, and they did what he said. But there was a lot of squabbling about it. How do you guys execute that? Because, 7-4 in theory, just the math sounds like that makes sense. But there's people like Stephanie who said, well, I don't want to vote for Tiff because in theory of how this plan's supposed to work, Tiff survives and she's going to ask who voted for her. And I don't think she's going to be cool with me saying, well, sorry, we all agreed 7-4 and I was one of the random 4. Tiff is going to take that personal, whoever voted against her. So how do you sort of divvy that up and who gets selected as the 4 if you guys have to split a vote or something? What's all the politics of that, Bret?
Well, no, I mean, you sit down, you talk, you try to keep everyone involved. I mean, I remember we had a vote where we needed to vote. I think it was Hannah. We wanted to split the vote with Hannah. And so we were all sitting around. I said, well, I'll vote Hannah because I think I knew Hannah had voted me. Hannah had voted me in so I was like, I'll vote Hannah. And then someone was like, and then I think Sunday, we had an issue where Sunday didn't want to vote. She couldn't vote Jay. I can't remember what it was. So it was somebody she couldn't vote for. And she was like, I can't vote for him. I told him I wouldn't. So I was like, all right, I'll just vote for whoever. So you just kind of work together. You talk to each other and yeah, I mean, there's definitely, there's going to be people that they don't want to vote for a certain person for. Maybe they made a deal with them. Maybe they have a good relationship with them and they just don't want that. So you got to find somebody else to do it. But yeah, I mean, that's part of splitting the vote. It gets tough.
More comments here. Cortez with a good one here. Tiff, Aubry, and Chrissy can go. I'm finding some people annoying. We'll get into my annoying people. I already mentioned Emily about 15 times. I'll keep mentioning her. Tiffany's bothering me too. I could see her go as well. But she thinks, or this person thinks that a coach is going to clash with Joe or Jonathan. Do you see that potentially happening down the road, or are the loyalists still too loyal, Bret? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't see that happening. If anything, maybe Jonathan starts to get fed up. I don't see Joe. I don't see Joe leaving coach, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm sort of in that same thing. We saw a weird flash scene, but I don't know if I had missed something where Joe was laying on the hammock and Coach and Joe were having some sort of a conversation. They played an interesting musical chime as if something was off, and then people started coming in. I think it was Ozzy and Rizzo that went, wait, what's a blood moon? And then that all sort of disappeared. So there only seemed to be a small breadcrumb there. Let me throw this comment up for Bret. Gator McCluskey says, I miss when Survivor seemed to prioritize good-looking contestants. Hot chicks, to be honest. At least 4 or 5 a season. A lost part of the show's history. You love beautiful people, right, Bret? We need to get less ugly people on the show?
Oh, yeah. No, I agree with that. I'm not big on the hot chicks, but I mean, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into. Each his own, I guess, is the best
Good
response.
response. Very good response.
I will say, I agree. I mean, we all want something to look at, right? We all watch it for a reason. So let's bring back the hot people back. I agree with that 100%.
Thanks, Gator.
More hot people on Survivor. We like
I'm for that. Come on, no matter what gender.
Listen, Gator has some great thoughts and ideas. He's not only an artist, he's also
So, Gator, we want to start seeing you. We do this every single Wednesday, so you've been a fun part so far. We have a lot of great commenters.
Here's some more.
Oh, another one.
90-minute episodes. It seems unnecessary. Do you guys like the complicated challenges or the simple ones, like what Steph did along with that final challenge? I get lost in the complex ones. We always like to talk about challenges, Brett, so talk about that a little bit. Are you liking the challenges so far this season?
Yeah, I think they're good. I like the big, all different combobulated ones. I mean, they're fun to do when you're out there. Like you get there and you're like, wow, look at this crap we're gonna be doing. It's fun, and I like those, and I think those are cool. But I mean, some of the boring ones, it's like, okay, we've done this. It's like they sit there, they like the end of this one where they're just bouncing. It's like, okay, I just fast forward. I get bored with that. But I love where they run through and it's like an obstacle course, or I love when we've done this a bunch of times where they run into the woods and they have to get out. I miss that kind of stuff. Like I like all those big, long, windy stuff. But I think John Kerhoff has been doing a good job. It's like eye candy when you first see them. They're big and spectacular and really cool. So I do enjoy it, and it always ends with a puzzle. But 90-minute episodes. I'm sorry, I like them. I like them. You get way more camp time because I would say get rid of if they're going to go back to an hour, get rid of at least some of the challenges stuff or shorten it because I want more camp time. I want to see people talk to each other. I want to see what's taking place at camp.
Yeah, if the episodes were 3 hours, I would watch it. So yeah, with all due respect, Gator, maybe you got a busy schedule, so 90 minutes. If you see it as extra fluff compared to me, again, I would watch it no matter how long the episodes are. So to me, the longer is the more we get to consume. We do a podcast about it, so obviously, the more we get to analyze there. So I don't mind the 90 minutes, and I think like anything in life, variety in the diet is key. I loved the one-on-one Stephanie challenge where she was holding it over, talking about her story when she was on Survivor the first time. She was in her 20s. Now she's a mother in her 40s, and she's trying to show that she still has it. I enjoyed the story element. I enjoyed that one-on-one, and it was her against herself doing it. But I also like the fun challenges. To your point, Brett, we had 14 people at the beginning before someone got voted out tonight. We had a 7-on-7 group that had to work together, and then the group of 7 that won had to turn on themselves, and they were all fighting each other. I don't know. To me, I don't mind the complicated challenges. I think it's important, though, where we have water challenges and great shots, and then sometimes it's simple. I think, when you change it up, that's the best.
Yeah, no, I agree. But I love the 90-minute episodes. I'm actually shocked. I haven't heard too many people say they don't. So, but Gator, hey, listen, he's a talented man. He has his own opinion on it. So we'll go with it. But I do enjoy it. I think a lot of other people do. So, yeah.
Let's get to the history here.
Ozzy and challenges. Yes. Can I do that next, Boyd Green?
Yeah, that's what I was going to go to. Yeah,
there you go. So, and in the comments here as well. So one more to tie Boston Rob all time with, what was it, 9 challenges?
Yeah, so right now Ozzy is at 8 career individual immunity challenges. Of course, that crosses all of his seasons. Boston Rob is in first place with 9 such. And Jeff sort of told him, hey, there's something to fight for the rest of the season to tie him and potentially surpass him at some point. And the other nugget was this is the first time that Ozzy has won individual immunity in 15 years. What a crazy number.
Just kind of cool.
You can bet your ass he is going to get another one because now you've given him something to go for. And we all know Ozzy is very competitive. So I liked that. I didn't realize that. I guess I knew he'd won a bunch. I actually thought probably honestly, I would have thought he won more than Boston Rob, but I guess I was wrong. So
I think Boston Rob just, with all due respect, hey, records are records, but he's just been on so many times that I think his 9 are spread over a much larger period of time versus Ozzy's who's made it. But I'll tell you this I'm an old school fan more than a new era fan. And to me, seeing Ozzy, and he's looked pretty good out there outside of him getting sort of hurt on that first challenge where they're on the weird fence and they have to reach over. It seemed like Ozzy tweaked his back or something.
He's no spring chicken these days.
No, he's not. So the cool thing to me was seeing him competing with Joe, and Joe, I don't know how much younger he is. He's a little younger, it looks like, than Ozzy, but it was just cool to see Ozzy, like he said it himself, and for me watching, and after he won, I turned to my fiance and said, the original Jungle Boy. It's just cool to see that, he won it. I'm like, yeah, look, this is a different version of Ozzy, but he won. I thought that was super cool. So yeah, great shout out here, Cortez.
Yeah, great work, Cortez.
I like it as well. Other things from the episode, getting into today's episode a little bit more. So Coach says he's going to wage war. Does this calm down here, Bret, going forward, or is this it? Is this the Coach we're going to see for the rest of this season, waging war against his enemies and trying to round up the troops like he was?
Yeah, I mean, he gets fired up. Like, let's but I love it. I'm here for it. Seeing him. The Tribal was great with his metaphors and the crap he was slinging at Tribal. I love it. That's what I love Coach. That's why I'm here to watch Coach. That's why I'm psyched they put him on, and I'm so glad he made it through tonight. I got a little nervous that we might be saying goodbye to Coach tonight, but thank God he made it through so that we can see what he comes up with next week.
Well, and I'm a big one with nicknames. I'm a nickname guy, as you all know. All right.
Ooh, let me pull this up.
Me. Rizzo with an interesting one for his alliance. Did you catch it? He called it
maybe not.
Cerise Rizzo of Oz.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
With him, Ozzy, and Serena. Did you like that one, Bret? A play on words here.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting. I don't know how long that Rizzo and Dragon Slayer is going to last. It seems like Rizzo's not too into it, but.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Speaking of all this activity, well, I guess while I'm doing that, I'll just say in general, like Dragon Slayer has been a little. There's been some slop to his game, but maybe that's part of the charm. So, for instance, and great job on the editing, right? So, Coach comes over to a young, impressionable Rizzo. He says, I want you to be a part of the Four Horsemen. And Rizzo seems at first all into it, like, oh my God, there's lovely piano music playing in the background, like a Dragon Slayer tale is about to be told. And and Coach turns to him and says, Rizzo, you can replace Colby of our Four Horsemen. And Rizzo, looks like he's like, oh, cool. But in the confessional, it's like, wait a second. I'm just replacing the guy that fell, and now I'm the fourth of the Four Horsemen.
Yeah, you could feel that when that conversation was happening and those words were said, you could feel, okay, this is not going to be taken well by Rizzo. I mean, you could just tell. I mean, it's just a weird statement, So it was funny, but it's typical Coach, right? I mean, it is what it is. That's why I don't think Rizzo's going to jump on board too long, but he'll do what he needs to do and Rizzo's going to get further with these guys. It's going to help him get further in the game,
Okay, did you guys see this? I want to do a quick follow-up here. Oh, no, not
Oh my gosh, Boy Green bounced himself, but he's put it up.
Oh,
Boy Green, come back in the screen. You took yourself out of the the frame.
Not hearing you. Oh yeah. Long story short, when we all disappeared, it kept our fantasy graphic up, which turned into a lot of stuff, breaking the fourth wall. Anywho, let me reset all of that. I don't know if you guys saw this, but obviously not this episode that just happened tonight. The last episode, we had Tide Walker and the Stone Monk Warrior for Joe, and Colby got involved. And there's all these nicknames. We're all like, man, classic Dragon Slayer. And I remember Manchild saying, a week or two ago, man, you know what? I would love a nickname from Coach. Well, apparently Coach has turned this into a marketing opportunity. He has created an official nickname ceremony, and only the first. Yeah, this is real. This is from his official social media. Only 200 people will be chosen for this event. It's $200. Yeah, it's phenomenal. You get a 10-minute private Zoom call with Coach. He will, sort of learn about you during this, session, and he will gain information about you, and then he will come up with a custom name, and you will get the certificate of authenticity, which is shown up on your screen here, where it'll say your nickname, your real name, Dragon Slayer, and it has a stamp of approval. And again, so it's the first 200 people that do it. It's $200 a person. He will come up with a nickname. And again, you get a 10-minute Zoom call where he learns about you. And then he comes up with your nickname and sort of knights you live on this Zoom call. And you get it. So are any of you guys interested in getting a official Dragon Slayer nickname? Manchild, you said a couple of weeks ago that you'd want this sort of thing. Well, the opportunity has presented itself here.
200. I just did the math. It's $40,000 the coach will get out of this event.
Oh, nice. Good for him.
That's not bad. 200.
Hey, make your money, Val.
Is $40,000. That's not bad.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah, and I will be buying one of those.
Okay, great.
Get on it quick enough because yes, I would definitely like an official name, nickname from Coach. So
come on, that'd be cool. Only 200. I mean, that's an exclusive group. I mean, how would you not want this? That'd be pretty cool. And then we can market it here on the show. That'd be spectacular. So again, folks, reach out for this official Dragon Slayer nickname ceremony of sorts. 200 people, $200 a piece, and again, you will have it as a talking piece forever. Just because we're talking about Coach and nicknames, just had to make sure we got that in on the show.
Is that taking place at an establishment, or is that taking place online? How's he doing
virtually? Because 10-minute Zoom call, so it's got to be virtual. Yeah, okay, but how? Think about it. 200 people. If he did it at a conference, what is he in a private dojo room, and we're coming in and out like a line of 200 people? One goes in, gets her nickname, and then just exits stage left. So I guess it has to be virtual.
No, it's definitely online. Yeah,
100%.
Boy, $40,000 from the confines of your house. Not bad.
Good for him. That's what I'm saying. Hey man, take advantage.
Might as well do it, man.
right.
Oh my goodness.
40 grand buys you a lot of bourbon. I'll tell you that right now.
I'm sure that's a
bourbon guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll use a lot of that as he was coming through. Let me see. What else did I want to make sure? Yes.
Are you a haiku kind of guy? Were you enjoying the haikus? Do you even understand haikus, Brett? It's the certain amount of words. I forget.
Yeah. That's more of a David Wright thing than mine. But I will say I enjoy the banter. I think it's funny.
Hey, so I heard Devin. So the first challenge, right? We had 14 castaways, 17. You had to work your way all the way to the end, get a puzzle, and the 7 that won got Chinese food. We'll get you to rate. That's one of our favorite segments every week, Brett, is you get to rate the reward challenge and let us know how it is. We'll do that in a second. But the 7 that won all competed against each other for one single necklace of individual immunity, and it was them holding this stick over their head where they had to balance a ball on it. And Devins was a part of that 7 and immediately got, he immediately dropped, and he goes over to, the bench where everyone is. And he says, you know what? Massive respect to boom mic operators, let's give a shout out to them. And my first internship that I ever got, I was in college and I had to get an internship. And I went to this media, movie, music video production place because I needed an internship. I was back at Cayuga Community College, and the guy said, Paul, I want you to be a boom mic operator. And I'm like, I'm 5'3", but okay, I'm not exactly sure if this is the role I should be given, but hey, you guys are the bosses. I'll do whatever you are. So yeah, there's a couple of movie scenes where I just have my little hands up here. I'm holding a boom mic as high as a 5'3" person can hold it. So, I didn't get brought back on the internship. So I guess that sort of speaks to.
Did they give you that dish too, Boy Green? You hold the big satellite dish.
So no satellite dish, just total pure boom mic over the head. So apparently I was preparing for a Survivor season. I didn't even know it. But yeah, so it's just 5'3" boom mic, guys. So it brought back some good memories during the Survivor episode. So thank you, Devins. Appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the inspiration for that challenge. Boom mic guys.
It felt like it.
Because they're everywhere out there, and it does, you don't really think about them a lot. You see them out there, they're in front of you all the time, and you don't think about how hard that job is. But and they'll actually hit you with it. If you're not talking loud enough, you whisper too much, they hit you with the boom mic to get to the top.
What?
Oh yeah, that's a thing. Ask any survivor. That's a thing. Yeah.
Wow.
They'll actually tap you in the boom mic, talk, speak up. What are you doing?
How about Stephanie tonight? That challenge. That is not an easy challenge.
No.
Holding your arm above your head for an hour.
No, I did it. I did a very similar challenge. That it sucks. It's not easy. Yeah, it's tough.
I give her again. She's no spring chicken, and look at how much she endured. She had the shoulder surgeries. We heard a little bit of the background of that. Mental, right? This is where the mental comes into play, right?
All mental. It's all, you got to get your mind off of it and think about something else. It's all mental. Most of these challenges are, and if you can't and you can't wrap your head around it, you're out. So.
All right, let me bring this up here, Brett. So you just mentioned, right, the boom mic operators. You're not talking loud enough. They may gently smack you with a boom mic to get you sort of engaged and
I didn't
talking
say
louder.
gently. I said they
Yeah.
smack you with it. Yeah.
Okay, wow. I tried to interpret it, thought it would be softer. But here's the thing, and shout out to Dalton Ross. I'm going to pull up one of his pictures here from the beginning of Survivor Season 50. And this is a shot of, he said, what the players are seeing on Marooning with these seemingly hundreds of people on the beach. Is this what it is all the time? And also, if so, like, how do you get used to this? Like, I'm looking at this, I'm like overwhelmed of like, good Lord.
Wow.
I mean, look at all these people here. How can I just get used to having normal conversations with someone? And I'm trying to ignore the camera because I'm sure they don't want you looking at the camera, when you're supposed to just be having a normal conversation. They want you to just be acting as normal and organic as possible. But is this what you guys see when you're out there?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a marooning, right? So that's the most cameras you're going to have. And I don't know what that is. I don't know, because you have so many people. There's so many, shot. I don't know why there's that. But that's what we came into on Millennials versus Gen X. And you're like,
wow.
They kind of warn you it's going to be a lot. But you don't expect it. And you're like, oh, my God, what is going on here? And that's why a lot of people are like deer in headlights in the first episode. They're just like, wow. And, the first episode, there's a lot of stories they're trying to get. So they do have a lot more cameramen than that. Now, then they kind of peter off. And then, each tribe has a few. But every time you go to like a challenge or a reward or anything like that, that's when you'll start to see a ton of cameras again. Like rewards, there's a bunch of people filming there. So you get used to it. But the first time you see this, what you're seeing here, it's pretty impressive. And you're pretty like, wow. There's a lot of money going into this production,
Which certainly feels like the case. What did you make of Brett? I know it's this isn't a police group here; these are firefighters. But Joe using the firehouse hierarchy, and Sari is immediately challenging him on it. Right, so he explains it. Sari's like, "Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. There's no hierarchy here." And then Joe's trying to fight for it. Then other people are jumping in, and then Joe at the end apologizes. I should have never brought it up. I don't even know. What'd you make of all that?
I mean, I don't know. He's probably trying to make a lot of times they try to get you to bring analogies from your work, your job into Survivor. So that may have been forced by production. I don't know. But I mean, it was a silly thing, so.
Okay.
It bothered me. Come on, man. Firefighters are heroes, man. Joe's just talking about how heroes get the job done, and then he gets ripped by the cast. Like, hey, it ain't going to be like that, But the whole thing was, I think the problem was Joe made an analogy, but the analogy didn't fit because Coach was totally running the show and telling people what to do. And Joe was saying, what makes for a good firefighting team is everybody, it gets on the same page. All right. So he was trying to make that analogy, but they didn't feel that way. They felt like Coach was just telling them, you're on the same page or else. And that's what I think irritated them and made this analogy become a bad analogy. I just don't think the analogy fit, but I felt bad for Joe that they ripped him on it.
Yeah. I mean, look, that's a problem with that many people out there. Like everyone's got a different opinion on shit. The other thing is like, it's so hard. You do not want to, you got to make it appear like you're not forcing people to vote, right? Nobody wants to be feeling like they're shepherded to vote, that that they have to listen to you. Like you're not going to, I think Devin's even said like, I'm not just going to fall in line and listen to the coach. So like, you got to handle these people, everybody with kick gloves, and you got to make it seem like it's their idea. And it's like, it's exhausting with that many people to try and like, coddle them is the best, for lack of a better term, coddle them to make sure that they vote the way you want to go. So it's a lot of work. And that many people, 14 people at the time, it's crazy.
Well, let's give a plug here. Again, no matter where you guys are watching, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@MC Show Digital. We're getting closer and closer to 1,000 subscribers. If you've stumbled your way in, and wow, we have a lot of new people in the comments, which we'll continue to go to here in a few minutes, which is awesome to see you guys. Well, we do this every single week, so this is not a one-off thing. It is Manchild, it is Boy Green, and it is former Survivor castaway Bret LaBelle. We do this every single week. We've done this for many years, and we're going to do it all the way through, obviously, the finale. So I hope you guys stay tuned throughout this entire trip as we're going through here on the channel. And I see this. I want to give a quick shout out to this guy. We got Fuqua Johnson here. Says, "Hey fellas, I love the show." So there you go.
Well, thank you, Fuqua.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. That's beautiful. And Gator again, he says, who would you say is the most entertaining contestant of all time? I'm Team Russell Hantz, as he's the one that locked me into the show for years.
Most entertaining. That's a
Come
taste. I think that's a taste kind of
to
thing.
me, it's like I love Russell Hantz. I don't know if he's the most entertaining. He is wildly entertaining. I'm not sure if that's how I'd answer the question, but hearing it, the first person I think of is Dragon Slayer, because there's just a looseness, which is fun because like it's so serious. It's $1 million, and people's dreams are ending on a night to night / 3 night to night basis. So there's an incredible level of seriousness, and there's been a lot of serious moments on the show with medical evacs and people divulging dark things about their lives and all kinds of stuff, but just entertaining. There's been funny when he's serious. It's almost funny, like seeing him when he was on Exile and he's in the sand and he's has the the log on his shoulders and he's like going through his Tai Chi. Like I don't know, all of it is just he's like one of the most entertaining characters of all time in television show history. So to me, that's the one that jumps to mind. I love Russell Hantz, but I don't know if that's the category I would put him in. But what say you, Brett?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Coach guy. I also like Philip. Like, you don't have to love them. You don't have to love them. You don't have to root for them. I'm just saying he's entertaining.
Of course,
like, he says crazy stuff. People go, what is going on here? Well, did he just say that? Like that to me is entertaining. I am a Russell Hantz fan. I do like Russell Hantz. I do think he should have been on Game Changers. There's nobody else. You can't have Game Changers without Russell Hantz, but yet Survivor did. So I am a Russell Hantz fan as well. He is entertaining. But there's so many entertaining people that, I mean, you could really go on forever. Johnny Fairplay. I mean, how do you take away from anything Johnny did?
Oh my
God. Just wish he did a little better on the second season that he was on, because his first season was fantastic. So there's just so many good ones. It's been such a fun show to watch over the years, and I really hope they don't ruin it.
How about Tony? I mean, I think Tony is.
That's what I was going to say.
I just rewatched
Spy Shack
and the Sky Shack and the Grass Shack. I mean, that guy was low. He was high. He was middle ground. I mean, he hit in so many places that these stupid contestants would never see him. And he's up there fooling around with the coconuts in that tree when he did the Spy Shack from above, the Sky Shack.
See, take Kagayan. I just rewatched Kagayan recently.
Great season.
It's a fantastic season. If you haven't seen it, go watch Kagayan season 28. It's fantastic. Tony is extremely entertaining. He's all over the map. But you have some unbelievable characters in there. You have Trish Haggerty, extremely entertaining. Some of the funniest lines ever on Survivor. Really great lines. So I think that we could. I mean, the more we sit here and talk, the more people will come up with. But I think for people that are saying I'm new, but I love this and that, go back and watch Kagayan. It's such a great season.
Yeah, another one I'll sprinkle in is Tyson. He just is unique. I don't like he's stripped naked before. He's cracked jokes. He's been like blindsided in funny ways where Russell Hantz has tricked him before, and like it's just entertaining. Again, can be entertaining for the audience and for the castaways that are out there. So Tyson, I think would definitely be on there. And I don't know if people would put Boston Rob on this list for the entertainment part, but like from holding everyone in camp and saying no one leaves, and the buddy system to young Boston Rob, where he's this flirtatious and then his entire sort of aura around him, and he sort of evolved when he got older and ended up winning eventually. Like Boston Rob, I put in the conversation too. There you go.
Like I said, if we sit here, we'll come up with more and more. Look at Lurch is looking and thinking right now. So
There's so many good ones.
Let's go with another Gator question here. These are great. He says, "What's your favorite moment so far this season? Am I the only one who thinks Jeff's hair looks ridiculous? Like, what is that, 70s Travolta?" My fiance did turn to me in the middle of the episode and was like, "Jeff clearly has gotten work done." I said, "Oh, really?" She said, "Yeah, you can definitely tell." I'm like, I didn't even notice, but okay. And she was pointing out the hair and the face and everything else. But do you guys have a favorite moment so far this season? I have a couple.
Oh, favorite
Oh
moments in the
God. I mean,
season.
no, not really. I'm trying to think. Do I have
Okay,
a
so I'll
favorite?
throw some random ones out there that just come to mind. So, like, Coach being out in the water and having to be emergency boated in with the
Funny.
cramp.
That was
That
hilarious.
that was hilarious. That one was fun. And again, this will be a favorite moment, like in a very sad way. But what we just saw this previous week with Colby, it was one of my
Always
favorite
July.
moments,
That was very good.
just because of like
That
clearly how much
was
it
a
meant
great
to him.
moment. Yeah.
Like,
So
so
I'll
yeah,
put that as my favorite moment
there
because
you
you're right.
go.
That was fantastic.
Right,
And
it's a
I got
tearjerker.
choked up. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
choked up.
Yeah.
And you know
So,
me.
not
That
favorite
takes a
because I
lot.
wanted Colby to go. It wasn't favorite for that, but like there was just a lot of emotion and I was invested and you sort of sense what was happening. So, that was very powerful. So, yeah, like I said, a favorite can be funny, it can be serious. There's a lot of things. Lurch, does anything jump out to you there?
You've mentioned a couple of the good ones. I'm terrible about remembering moments sometimes without going back to my notes and just remembering some of the things. But that Colby thing last week to me was, I think it'll end up being a highlight of the season. I just think it was very
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
A cool way that he went out. To me, it's just been entertaining seeing these older players now, many of whom have been gone for a while, and Ozzy even being one of them, and just trying to see like what can they withstand here. Like what are they going to be able to take? How is it gonna? Is the age thing gonna start to kind of take over? Because anybody that's older knows, you want to, run at that speed, and then your body just says, no, you're gonna pull a hamstring if you do that. Like you just learn how you have to kind of limit yourself a little bit. So I'm just curious to see whether some of these bodies hold up as the season goes on. So we might get ourselves an even better moment. But those were some nice ones in the early stages. That whole thing with Coach, it's just too much. We saw the one challenge. Remember where Joe got like, Joe got totally exhausted. Like, whoa,
That was weird. That was bizarre.
that went on the beach. Who knows? He was just having a bad day or something. But again, Joe is. I'm going to say youngish, but not that young.
Right. He's in his 40s or something.
He's in incredible shape. He's in phenomenal shape for his age. But again, he's not a 30-year-old. So I love elements like that. I think that's pretty cool.
All right, some more questions and comments from the audience. Let's go to Sami Gamer, who says, was it just the edit or was Rizzo more calming in this episode? Did Ozzy maybe give him advice on Exile Island? They're out there by themselves, and as Gator jokes, you're out on an island by yourself with 730 crew members. So not exactly, I guess, out there on the island by yourself. But back to Sami Gamer here. Yeah, he did seem calming. Again, to have sort of the kiddish charm of like Coach welcoming into the club and him playing to that role of what he was being assigned to later in the episode, telling Coach, hey, Coach, I'm just telling you here, you're going too crazy. You need to calm down. We slay dragons at tribal council, not at camp. Like, he just had a lot of good lines, and Coach like seemed to be resonating, even though this guy is like a third of his age, that he was resonating with the things that Rizzo was saying. So yeah, there did seem to be a different vibe to Rizzo. And again, he's played back to back, so he hasn't had a chance to, and we talked about this last week, of like being aware of how he was perceived and how he was able to do all that. So I've been very impressed with Rizzo, and that's your draft pick over there, Brett. So Rizzo's looked spectacular, and there's been another evolution we saw tonight.
He's getting a great edit.
Yeah, he really is getting a great edit. He might actually, I might win this with him. But I'll tell you, the funny thing is like, it was good to see Rizzo. I think Rizzo's getting tired. Rizzo's been out there. He looks thin as a rail. He looks emaciated. I think he's tired, and I think he's just slowing down, and which is a good thing. I think it's going to be a good thing for his game, because I think he came out swinging, and it almost really hurt him, and now he's kind of reeling it in. I think it's because he's tired, and even though he is young, he's young. But look at he does not look good.
Yeah,
he looks very emaciated. Yeah.
Could you believe that if he ends up winning, right? Like season 49, so he goes to final 5 and then immediately comes back and wins 50 with like all these people on wow, that would he wants to call himself, he wants to end up being the greatest survivor of all time. Well, winning 50 would be a nice feather in the cap.
And here's the thing with him, Brett. Let me just offer this. I love your thought on this, but here's the thing. And I was telling Boy Green this off air before we started the show tonight. The thing with Rizzo, okay, we want Dee out because she's won $1 million, and now there's no more $1 million winners. And one of these players who hasn't won $1 million is now going to win $1 million, which is, I think, a good thing, and especially the ones that have tried and taken several swings at the pinata. But Rizzo is the one person on this island that is a complete unknown, and why people are going to him and giving him information, why people aren't vetting him more. He's flying under the radar, and everyone is trusting him. Heck, Suri, one of the great all-time players, is putting complete trust in this guy. It is scary, the game that he's playing right now, and how people are trusting him, because he's the one player they don't know. He's the last person you should trust. And as we all know, I know Boy Green loves him because he's Boy Green's kind of player, a cutthroat guy for sure. He would cut your neck, when you weren't looking kind of guy, which I hate those kind of players. I'm a Colby kind of guy. All right. But the fact of the matter is he's playing a brilliant game, but he's being trusted by people who, if they were smart players, there's no way they should trust him, Bret. So talk to me about, why is this veteran cast trusting Rizzo? Ozzy's trusting Rizzo. Suri's trusting Rizzo. Heck, Coach is trusting Rizzo. These are veteran players. They've been around the block, so to speak. Talk to me.
Sometimes it's just because you like the person, right? Sometimes you have a conversation with them, you trust them, you like them, you have a one-on-one, and he's doing a good job of winning them over. And look at, I've met Rizzo, I've hung out with him, I've had beers with him. He is a very likable person, which most of these people are. But like, Rizzo's cool. He's like, he talks to you. He's easy to talk to. So I think it's just that they like him personally. I think they got a little hanky, but I think he got his, he got the rug ripped out of him early in this game. Kind of like, a couple times we thought he was going home. So I think it reeled him in. I do think he's tired. I think it slowed his game down with it. I think it's really going to help him going forward, but we'll see.
It's tricky. It's tricky with Rizzo. Very tricky with Rizzo. Okay. Let's talk brass tacks here, Bret. All right. Okay. About, who's playing well in this game right now, and who do we think is getting a winner's edit? We always do this from time to time during a season. All right. And who is strategically in a good place. All right. I'm going to throw a couple people on the board. Tell me if you agree or disagree. Rizzo is one of them. Suri is one of them. And even though he's not a very good strategical player, I think Ozzy is one of them right now. Those three players to me are really standing out. Who are the players that are standing out to you right now that you say, man, this is looking good. The edit's looking good. The alliance looks good. Nobody's mentioning their name, et cetera, et cetera. These are the kinds of things that you look for, I guess, at this stage in the game.
I would have said Ozzy, definitely, because this episode, maybe not so much, but we do have a lot of people on this tribe. But no, I definitely think Ozzy's getting a really good edit this whole season. Where they're telling the story with him, and you can see it. Rizzo too. I would definitely say that. Suri is doing pretty good. I'm trying to. Jonathan's getting.
I was about to say Jonathan for sure.
Yeah, I would say Jonathan is definitely starting to pick up, and he's starting to see some interesting stuff with him. So I could be switching to him soon, which sucks because none of us have him.
No.
He had a great episode tonight. Really good one. Rick Devon's not so much. I mean, I like Rick, and Rick's a friend of mine. I'm still rooting for Rick. I hope he does great in this. I think he'll go far, but I don't think he's going to win it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen.
Christian's getting a great edit. Great edit. I mean, come on. He's in every episode. He's in a big chunk of every episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd agree with that. Unfortunate for Manchild Joe. Like Joe, I just, maybe
Joe's not getting a good.
Yeah, maybe he's a sleeping giant, and like Emily's later he's going to go on this run. But yeah, Emily just does.
She got a great edit in her first season. So did Joe. They're not getting good edits now.
Yeah, I just don't see it. But yeah, that would have been the name that I sprinkled in on top of everything you said, Bret, was Jonathan. Like, man, he's really impressing me. Again, we always think of him, and how can you not? He's impossible to miss as this physical presence. But again, the different layers of, again, I don't know if it's Boston Rob. I don't know if he deserves a credit for trying to help him out. But there is a different game to him. It goes back to the Camilla blindside vote to, baiting D, which set up this vote. Like, man, he's been a bit of a mastermind out there. So big salute to Jonathan.
Yeah, Gator also throws out Steph. What do you guys think of Steph? Is she getting a decent edit? Do you see her as a contender at this point? Give me thoughts on that.
She's been a good swing vote for a couple of these opportunities. She hasn't caught much heat outside of the fact early with Mike White, where Mike White, when they were at camp, he said, "Hey, now I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to vote for you." But he wasn't really. He was trying to gauge the rest of the, the tribe on the decision making, and told her to her face. But for the most part, Steph, I thought, has done very well. And it seems like, again, it's the edit. We don't know. is Sari the only one that smelled out the BS on the steal a
Right.
vote? Did other people also not buy the story at camp? We didn't get enough of knowledge to see that. But no, I think Steph is in a really good position. I love Steph the first couple times she played. So yeah, Steph's great.
Yeah, I don't see Steph going all. I'm enjoying Steph too, and I'll tell you,
Yeah.
I would love to see what a great story that would be if she came back and won this, but
No,
I
for
just don't
sure.
see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see her path to it right now. Right now, let's see
Right.
when they
It could
whittle
change,
down
of
a few
course.
more people. Yeah.
Who was, by the way, Derek the cop came in here with the lady who released the chickens was pretty entertaining. Who was the lady who really, there's been a lot of chicken releases.
Yes,
in the
that's
course
also
of Survivor history. I'm trying to remember who's the lady that let the chickens go. I mean, we've seen Ty, right? Was the chicken tender? I thought Ty was going to I thought he was going to train the chickens out there. The chickens were going to be like a circus act, just doing things for Ty. He had them such under great control. So.
So again, maybe a lot of people did this, but I Googled it, and the first name that came up was Wendy. She was in the Survivor Edge of Extinction season. She famously in 2019 released all of the chickens.
Yes.
She liberated them, 3 hens and
that.
a rooster, to stop her tribe from eating them, often hiding the tribe's flint to prevent the cooking process.
Yes, you're right.
So she's sort of, with all due respect, she's sort of unmemorable to me. That wasn't the first person I thought of when I Googled it, but I'll trust the internet.
Yeah, I do remember her, and she was younger. She's a younger player.
Yeah, Derek is saying yes, that was Wendy. So there you go.
Yeah, it was Wendy. Yep, Wendy is the one. Yeah, I remember her. She was. Yeah, I think she was just kind of like, dare I say, a kind of an animal rights-ish kind of, like I'm not, that's not something.
But that's why I enjoyed the chickens on the season. It puts you sort of, for some, a
Moral
dilemma of like, oh, do I kill this chicken? And some people are like, yeah, let's fucking kill the chicken. Let's give everyone fried chicken here. Like for some people, there is no decision. It is clear. And for the other people that are waffling, there's ties that are like animal people or just in general, right? That you get like some business guy. We saw that it was either last season or the season before. Bret drafted him. Oh my God. He had short hair. What's his name? He talked to big Alex, I think he was. And Alex, he was like the big lawyer or something from New York. And he talked like he had a big game, and ultimately he got screwed because he kept trying to be friends with everybody, and like,
he
I
do remember him. Yeah,
he was the one who said, so he's this guy from New York, and he's like, I've never killed a chicken before. And then they went through it, and he sort of talked about the process of like, having to do Survivor Island things that you wouldn't normally do in your normal life. Like a farmer has probably killed 1 million chickens or had those opportunities. So yeah, to me, I love it. Let's add more chickens. I know Survivor apparently doesn't want the cheat code of food. They want you to starve, and maybe that gives better stuff. But I think it's worth the moral dilemma and the crazy Wendy releasing chickens and people doing crazy crap. I think it just adds entertainment value. So I hope they keep doing that forever.
Sure.
Oh my goodness. Well, gentlemen, as I say, another one in the books. Episode 7 to bed. Boy Green, blood. Not just a blood moon, but blood on your body. I think I see it streaming down your arm there.
It is.
All right. Yeah. Finally, you've taken a hit in fantasy draft. We're very happy about that. We'd love to see that go back to back.
Well, I just think of floating, Lurch.
I don't know who was
floating and sitting there.
Well, I'll tell you, if I had to lose anyone, and I love Dee a lot, I thought the reason I drafted her, she's a really good player. The winner thing obviously puts a sort of a bounty on your head, which may have you limited forever. But if I could have pushed anyone off the island of my 4, it would have been Dee or Devins. That would have been one of the two, just because Devins, I'm feeling not as great about as I did preseason. But no, so I'm glad it wasn't Dragon Slayer. I had a brief thought. I thought the editing was just trying to force us to say, "Ooh, that he's in it," even though he's not. Right. But there's always a little voice in the back of your head that we don't know. So no, I'm glad Dragon Slayer didn't go tonight. He's my favorite. Obviously, it was my number 1 pick. And but no, yeah. So it's sad for Dee, but again, hey, she's a winner, and Bret was ready to club all these winners with a rock. So let's just get rid of them.
You gotta go. They gotta go.
Yeah. Bret, final thoughts from tonight's episode? What's your
No, it's getting good, man. It's getting good. They're getting into the nitty gritty here. This is tough with this many people, but it's good to see them going at each other, and I think it's going to make for very good TV going forward.
Awesome. All right. We'll be right back at it again next week. On your way out, folks, if you haven't already liked the video, hit that thumbs up. And if you'd like to become a subscriber to our channel, please subscribe, youtube.com/@MC Show Digital. We are back for every Survivor episode right after Survivor finishes. So we will be back again next week. And as Boy Green was saying, we've been doing this for a long time. We started this in our radio days with Bret, and he's stuck with us all these years, and we have a blast doing it. So great from all the folks in the comments tonight. Appreciate your contributions mightily. Go ahead, BG.
Yeah, that was the last comment I was going to say is, wow, we had the most active
Awesome.
comment section that we've had with a lot of different people and different perspectives. And I love Gator with the evergreen questions, whether it's on this season or the past. That's cool. We don't get to ask those kind of questions a lot. So it's good to sort of dive into the history of it. And thank you to everyone that asked questions about the episode. So again, we are here every single week, every single Wednesday. Most of the episodes are 90 minutes apiece. So we're on minutes after that episode. Sometimes they're 2 hours or whatever length of the finale, 3 hours or something. We will be here after everything sort of plays out. So thank you to all the commenters. That was a lot of fun. And hopefully we get all these people back next time and more. That'd be great.
All right. Bret, thanks as always, my friend. We'll see you next week. All right.
Take care, guys.
All right. That'll do it for another episode Survivor Recap Show. We'll see you next week, folks. Take care.